Hey, what's slicing, everybody? Chris here from CAC Knives, back with another knife review slash discussion today on this knife that I know a lot of people have commented on in other videos that they've seen it in. Happy 4th of July week. When this video posts, the 4th of July will be tomorrow. Hopefully everybody's got some pretty cool plans this week. Some plans to see some fireworks, celebrate the birth of America. I know everybody that watches the channel isn't from the USA, but you know, from those that are, we have a lot of very heavily patriotic people in our country, including myself. So, but today we're here to talk about this knife. This knife comes from, well, it's kind of a long story, but when I first bought it, I was kind of newer in the knife game. It comes from a company called Polish Custom Knives, which are knives made in Poland. And they're pretty well known by now. Many other Instagram knife channels and YouTube knife channels have done reviews and talked about their knives, and Metal Complex got insanely lucky and got sent a free custom-built Herman knife by them. But this knife here, it's one I saw years ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I thought it was a heck of a deal. I thought this was a full custom knife when I first bought it. And to be honest, it has a lot of customization on it, even not being a full custom knife. But I thought it was a full custom knife, and I was like, and it cost $200. The title of the knife was just like D2 folding knife, orange black, because of the orange backspacer there. Pimped by Micho Custom Folder. Micho, M-I-C-H-O. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And that's what it was called on their website. And I was like, wow, you know, had the like Punisher there on the pocket clip. Had all the cool markings on the blade there that were individually done. They are not scratches. And you know, it had a lot of carvings everywhere, and I was really pumped for it. And you know, I have all the official paperwork and the engraving and stuff out in my storage building. But anyways, excuse me. It seemed like a heck of a steal. And it was my favorite knife for so long. Still is one of my favorites, even with me doing some research on it. But somebody in one of my videos said that it was a knife that you could get on Amazon. That's not pimped out, obviously. This one is fully pimped out. But I did some research to see what they were talking about. Surely enough, I found an Grow knife, the company that makes this knife that I just reviewed last week, makes this knife for 30 bucks. A basic version, okay? Basic, plain. There's no customization. All you're going to have is the D2 blade. You're going to have G10 handles. You're going to have a basic pocket clip. And, you know, that's it. It's just going to be a basic looking knife. A real simple, basic looking knife. But that knife's 30 bucks. And what Polish Custom Knives did was they bought this, at least this maker bought, you know, some of those knives and pimped a few of them out, because there's a few of them out in the world. There's not just this one. There's like, you know, 7 or 8 of them maybe that exist that are like this. But they bought them for 30. He heavily pimped this out, and he did more than what you just can see, and I'll get there, but he heavily pimped it out. And then, excuse me, they put $170 more on it. So basically what you're looking at here is a $30 knife turned into a $200 knife. But they never said that anywhere on their website. And to me, at that time, that was kind of sketchy. Now, I do know they have since learned from their mistakes. All their fully custom knives, they make sure to say it. All the knives that are pimped on there that I've seen since this happened say what the knife is. Because last time I looked, they had a Best Tech that this same Micho guy pimped out. And they said what the make and model was. They said it was a Best Tech and all that. Way more expensive though. Whew, my goodness, it was like $700, and I'm sure that Best Tech only costs like $200 max. So they're really putting that high price tag on there. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Herman lines. I'd love them. I'd love to get one of them full custom Hermans one day, but alas, they're $2,000 to $3,000. So I don't know if that's something that'll ever happen for me or not. That's pretty expensive. Maybe if I win the lottery or something. But so I figured this was my only chance to ever get one. And with the information that I know now, with them doing that, and not even telling me, I even actually messaged them a few weeks ago asking them what it's called, and the response I got was a Micho custom. That's all they sent me. They didn't send me anything else. It's probably because they didn't want to directly tell one of their customers that they kind of screwed them in a way by not letting them know that this is just. And this was also back when Ethan Grow was doing shady stuff like copying other models. This is actually originally I can't remember if it was a Microtech or a Strider model, or maybe it was a combination of both. Because as you can tell, it kind of looks like a Strider knife, just by the way it's designed. And so Ethan Grow made cheaper versions of it for $30. This guy that, I don't know if he sells to Polish Custom Knives or they pay him as an employee or what the deal is, but Polish Custom Knives ended up getting these full customs and selling them back priced up at $170 more. Plus, 50 or 60 shipping here to the US. Now, don't get me wrong, the knife that we're going to go over is very good, but I wanted to start the video off with that kind of thought process in mind, because here's a Route 1. Here's my custom Route 1, heavily customized, done by Way of Knife in Michigan. And we're going to really be comparing these two, and if this is worth it, or if even that Best Tech that they're trying to sell now is worth it, in my opinion. Because it's one thing to have a full custom, to take a production knife and customize it after it's already a production knife, where the custom maker did not do 90% of the work himself, but he only made it different after the knife was already fully made and fully assembled. Those are very different things to me. And yeah, we're just gonna kind of go over it. We're gonna compare. We're gonna see if I think if it was worth it. No doubt what they did was shady back then by not even letting the buyer know that the make and model was from another company. And to an unaware buyer like myself then, it's kind of shady that you were unaware that this was not a knife that was done by them, because it said custom, it was just a shady thing. And no one would ever think to look for, when they didn't even have a title of the knife, because Ethan Grow doesn't put the title of their knives in any, they just have their number. By the way, this knife on Amazon right now is EF335. If you look that up, you will see this exact knife that's not pimped out. But yeah, it was shady. In today's times, if I seen this knife pimped out like this, would I probably pay $200 for it? For me, probably yes, because I really love this knife. Really love it. Would I say it's worth it? Well, we're going to find out in this video, because I'm going to heavily compare it to this knife, as I said. So what does this knife offer? Well, it has D2 steel with laser engraving on both sides and carving on the spine, as you can see there. These laser engravings, I'm not sure if they were individually done by hand or done by a machine. I would say it would be hard to do those by hand, so I'm sure a machine did them. There is carving on both thumb studs, carving on all of the screws. That is hard to see on the camera. Not to mention this very cool effect on the pocket clip. Like, dang, that's cool. I don't know how he did that. I'd love to know. If anybody could tell me how he did that in the comments, I would appreciate it, because I would 100% do this to other knives if they know how this was done or not, because this is one of the coolest clips that I think I've ever seen. But yeah, I also think he obviously took the knife apart to do all this, and in doing so, he heavily, made the action perfect, because it is. It's a heavy detent, but it's also a heavy blade. This knife is big. It's no slouch. To show you how big it is, here is my Demco 80-20.5, which is, in its own right, a full-size knife, right? But, it's not a baby compared to this, but, it's definitely not on the same scale. This knife is very big and very heavy. Now, is the knife good? Yes. On paper and pencil, are the materials worth $200? No. No, no, no. Stainless steel screws, pivots, D2 blade, G10 handle, and, stainless pocket clip are not worth $200 by any means. For that price, you should be getting, some crazy titanium or something like that, with much better steel. We're talking Spyderco Para 2, Para 3 price. We're talking, ZT. The lower end ZTs cost that much, and so on. But, like I've said in a previous video about pricing of knives, there's a lot of things that are thrown in here, and one of the biggest things is customization done by a human, or heavy custom work that is enhanced by a human. If you want to see that video, I've also got it on the channel, talking about, are knives really worth their price or not? Now, these knives are a $40 difference. Both of them, their original production was definitely done in China. This one was heavily customized in the USA, and this one was heavily customized in Poland. Patriotic reasons, the USA, that's going to win out. But as far as price goes, I would say that puts them on the same price point as far as where it was customized. Poland is a pretty developed country on the same level that America is. So I would put them on the same level in terms of that respect. Now, in terms of things customized, how many different things on this knife do we have customized? Well, we have titanium hardware. Yeah, all that purple is titanium, which is another thing that's gonna make the rat look a little better in this respect. But I can't remember off the top of my head what blade steel this is, but for all intents and purposes, let's say the blade steel is worse than D2. The handles are both laser engraved. They got a graveyard theme on both sides. It's on my hands coming out. The blade is heavily customized. It's got a carved spine. It's got their fox tooth mascus going on. Two different types of acid etching. A lot of customization going on there. Nothing's done to the clip. It is the original clip, but it's also $40 less. So if we want to take into account the amount of customizations, titanium 1, anodized titanium 2, scales 3. Oh yeah, and the laser engraving on on the blade as well. So that's 4, carving 5, acid etch 6, fox tooth 7. So we're going to say that there's 7 different customizations here. Now, are some of these easier than some of the things done on the Polish custom knife? Yes. And for that fact, we're going to start it with a free point, because a lot of these things on this knife, such as what's done on the blade and the carvings on the pivot and the screws, they're going to be a lot more annoying, a lot more painstaking. It's a lot easier to anodize than it is to do these kind of carvings with a grinder. I'd say that's arguable because, you know, in terms of the pivot, the only thing that's ground is the edge, and I'm sure all he did to do with that was just barely touch it on the grinder. But we're going to give it a free point. So we got the blade, that's 2. Pocket clip is 3. And the hardware is 4. So there's only 4 different layers of customization here, where there's 7 on this knife. Now, they are vastly different in size, but you know what? In this example, I don't think that matters. In this case, I don't think that matters. Because production-wise, when you buy these knives, they're still these sizes, and they're about the same price. So, and to be honest, this one's a lot easier to carry in your pocket because it's smaller, lighter weight. And this knife is very heavy, but very cool in its own respect. This knife also costs, like I said, $40 less. So do I think this knife was overpriced? Yes, I do. 100%. 100% overpriced. You know, I think if they wanted to add $100 and make it a $130 knife, or maybe even $120, make it a $150 knife to make it a little bit cheaper than this one, okay, maybe we're getting into the same ballpark now. But $200, no. No. Not even fair. You can get this knife base model, almost 7 of them, for $200 without any of the customization. So you're paying for about 6 more of these knives. 6 more of these for just the custom work. I don't think that's worth it to me for an everyday person. Now, would I have paid for it? Like I said, yes, but that's just because I love the knife that much. For sometimes it's more personal value and not so much whether the knife's worth it or not, right? Even with the customization, if you like a knife enough, then get it. You know, screw what everyone else says. It's your money. You worked for it. You get it. But would I buy from Polish Custom Knives again if I could afford it? Yes. Like I said, as far as I know, they've came out and said their mistakes. Other people have told me that in messages and comments. However, they did not say it directly to me when I messaged them and asked them what make and model this was. And they just said a Micho custom. That wasn't really the response I was hoping for. I was hoping they'd just tell me the truth. But the Herman knives are great. I highly recommend them. I've seen other reviews on them. You know, they are full customs, so... But just watch out for this from companies, guys. Really look out for this, especially since it doesn't have any branding or any labeling. It does have this PCK right here for Polish Custom Knives, but that's it. And I didn't know about that being a red flag back then because, I mean, if we look at other knives, like here's a traditional Rough Rider, right? Rough Rider right there. You know what's up. My Ontario rat came in the rat box. This did not come in an Efengro box. It came in a Polish Custom Knives box. But anyways, this came in an Ontario box. All right. Dimco Has the 80/20 right there. Says where it's made on the blade. Has Dimco's signature, right? Even the 8-finger knife here has EF on it. D2, you know, and it came in the Ethan Grow box. Just be careful. Be careful out there, guys. Don't get screwed over. This is still one of my favorite knives in my collection. I love it. I love that I have a knife that was heavily customized by a guy in Poland. I just think that's cool to say out loud. And I would still buy from them again, like I said, if the situation arose, but I think that's about all there is to say about this. Let me know what you guys think about this situation in the comments. I think it was an interesting discussion that I found myself in with some people on the internet. And at first I thought they were lying and I said they were wrong, but as it turned out, they were right. And for that, I do apologize. But with all that being said, I am planning on getting 1 or 2 of the new Civivis that are dropping this week. So those will be on the channel probably relatively soon because no videos are up on those yet. And I'd like to get them up for people to know what they're getting into since they'll be brand new knives. I'm also subscribing to Polish Custom Knives this month. Or not to Polish Custom Knives, I'm sorry. To Monthly Knife Club this month. And I'm going to be starting to do one of those a month. I'll have 2 videos. One on the unboxing, so you guys get to see my reaction. And one on the review of the knife that I get for that month. But with that, guys, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. And enjoy the rest of your week.